Top of the day to you out there. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we're right here in the Gulf TV studios. My name is Ruki. Tolu is here, and together we host the KIS show.
Hi,
Tolu,
Ruki.
how are you doing?
I'm very well. Good morning.
Good morning. What's up now?
Nothing much.
What's with the vibe and everything this morning?
Ruki, you know what happens behind the cameras. You know. But we can't just let it out.
Exactly, right.
But the thing is, someone tried to get on my nerve this morning, and it got me really emotional. I had an emotional outburst.
Exactly. We actually all have a different way of, reacting to things. When people get one angry, you're like, oh God, what should I do? What can I do?
I had tears in my eyes this morning because I just don't know how best to handle it, and I had to just say my mind and walk out. Like, I didn't expect such from the person, but then it's fine now. I'm in a better place.
Exactly.
I'm in a better place, but yeah, on to better things.
Abi, exactly.
What's up? How you doing?
In fact, I'm actually very fine. I'm okay. Well, I'm just keeping my finger crossed for the month of July. I'm expecting a lot of good news.
It has started with a bang.
First
of all, our young colleague had a birthday yesterday.
Exactly.
And currently she's still battling in euphoria.
Exactly.
Happy birthday to Nike.
Yeah, and I think so. Today is also
so
RMD's birthday. I think a lot of birthdays
Wonderful
in the month of July.
actually.
Exactly. Anyways, happy birthday to all the July celebrants. We
Yeah.
wish you very, 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 very prosperous years and more money to your account and more whatever, anything you want. May God provide in Jesus' name. All right, so we'll go for a break right now. When we come back, our conversation for today is something that, in fact, you don't want to miss. It might even be something you're actually experiencing, and you might probably want to share your story with us. So just sit back, cross your fingers, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're welcome back from that break. Well, I still keep it simple. And like I said before we went on the break, today's topic is something that affects us as humans. I mean, it is normal for us to actually have misunderstanding with one another, especially as we're humans. We have feelings, we have a lot of things that we like and we do not like. So today's topic is resolving long-standing rivalry. Resolving long-standing rivalry. I think that in life, it's just normal for us to just, one beautiful morning, you wake up feeling fly and all that, and the next moment, someone is just doing something that's very annoying, and before you know it, the thing skyrockets into something that for years or for a very long time, you've not been able to resolve that particular issues. And one thing I realized about rivalry or conflicts, fights, or what have you, is that the more you shy away from confronting the situation, the more the issue escalates, the more a lot of parties will be affected. Exactly. A lot of people have a lot of things to say. This is telling you this what to do. This one is telling you another thing that is not even true. I think that long-standing rivalry is one of the problems that we have, especially in Nigeria as a country. I mean, if you look at our whole economic situation, we'll see a lot of rivalry between a lot of people, especially when it comes to ethnics, religion. This ethnic group is always fighting with this one. It's really alarming. I think it's time for us to sit down, stare this thing in the face, and deal with this so-called long-standing rivalry, especially if the person is someone that is in your family or very close to you.
You're right, Ruki. I think rivalry is something inherent in us as humans. I mean, we are always in short of resources. We're always in short of opportunities. So there is that competition. That just and it's just natural. It's just natural. It's inherent. In fact, even with animals, there is always some sort of competition or rivalry. How much more human? So it's part of us. It's part of our makeup, and so it's something okay. But when it begins to, go overboard, like there's a borderline between healthy competition or rivalry, and unhealthy ones, especially when it is long-standing, like what we're discussing today. So it's fine when you have altercations, when you have disagreements, when there is no understanding on some issues. Like what I had today, this morning, it's not up to an hour ago. It's just a little conflict. But I told you before we came on, said that right now, after the outburst, I'm fine. I had confronted it head on and I'm okay. So when I step out of here, I've actually forgotten about what happened. But if I don't intentionally work on it and I keep the grudge in mind, for days, for weeks, for months, and maybe either of us part ways, like, we just go our different ways and we never had to see again. The memories will be there. It will linger long, and it can breed so much vices. I think really the loss of the flesh, this thing is part of the loss of the flesh. If you don't address issues head on, it can lead to envy, it can lead to jealousy, it can lead to other, it can lead to other things actually. So for me, I think it is nice that people are able to confront their issues, confront their differences, and treat it as urgent, so as not to, give room for contempt, really.
Okay, so I think we should talk about the causes. What causes long-standing rivalry within people, in companies, in families,
in workplace,
in the
families.
society, in your environment where you stay? That's like a whole lot. Like, for some people, working alone, some people are angry that they are working. I don't know, human beings, sometimes we can be so complex. Yes, sometimes I don't even understand. That's why at times I just do as if I don't even see some things or some people. I just choose for that person or that situation not to exist to me. So as far as in mentally, I'm okay. I can deal with the situation. I can actually live around your bad energy or something, or you can live around my own bad energy or something. I'm actually fine. But because not every time, I don't like confrontations. I, as a person, I don't like confrontations at all. That's why some people be like, okay, you're so quiet, you don't talk, you're so this, you're so that. Because I find out that when I confront people, I get very pissed, and my anger level can be, as in when I can no longer control it, I can say a lot of things that might really
be sorry for later.
I'm telling you, and I'll start feeling bad a lot. I always feel like I just have to go and apologize to the person, even if it was the person that offended me. So being pushed to that limit that, I just have to start talking. And once I start talking, I don't talk when I'm fighting. Once I start talking, I don't finish it at all. I don't end. Like, it's as if a tap has just been opened and that cannot be closed or something like that. So I don't like it at all. Most time I just try to overlook or just keep quiet and just let peace reign. Not because I'm a fool or something, but because I know that if I allow myself to be pushed to that extreme end, it might not really come out well, because I would be the one to be blamed, even if what I'm fighting for might be the right thing. So what do you think is the cause for rivalry among people, among contemporaries, among family members, in the society,
it could be a
or something like that, something general?
Yeah, it's a function of many things. Like, many factors are responsible for rivalry. But for me, I think one of those things that I stood out, or that I've experienced, that could result to rivalry, is the fact that when you don't have communication, when there's a lot of communication gap, like you're not able to communicate your thoughts or your expectation in the way the other person can receive it and understand it. So there's that back and forth, and it actually starts as one little thing, but if care is not taken, it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and it escalates into something you can no longer manage. So communication can be, it can be one of the reasons why we have, rivalry, and sometimes it can just be the fact that people don't just like you. They just think why should it be all about you? It's not that they cannot communicate. It's not like they cannot understand what you're trying to communicate. But yeah, they get to the point you're making. But they don't just like to see your face.
Yeah.
They don't just like you doing what you're doing. I mean,
That's
you know,
true.
that unhealthy competition is just with some people. I mean, they feel like life should just be all about them. So when they see you doing some stuff, they want to challenge you.
Whatever, yeah.
So, you know, you explain the fact that human beings are complex. There are some things that we do that we don't even have answers to. We don't understand why we do these things, but it's just part of our makeover. So yeah, some people are just really not happy to see your face or see you do well. So it's just their problem. It is not you. So aside that, why do people you know, involve in rivalry again? Sometimes it can be because they demand an apology from you because of what you've done. They just feel like you should apologize, like you should understand the fact that you wronged them and you should come back begging. And when you don't see that, they decide to stay away from you and never have anything to do with you. So it can be as a result of unresolved issues. And that's why we call it long-standing. So it's just piles up. Like it's a combination of many things that are piled up over the years and have been left unattended to. Yeah. So.
All right. So for me, I think power struggles too. Power tussle, especially at places of work. Like it's like a big deal for some people. You know, they want to who is the best, or you know, who does this better. And all that. That struggle to attain power. If we even look at our economy, there was a time Obasanjo and Atiku, they were very, very, as in fact, they were president and vice president. And even after that, you know, they became enemy, that everybody knew that these two men, as in they don't pass, they don't see the same role, they don't see the same thing at all. And it was surprising when Atiku wanted to, I think the last general elections that was held, and he wanted to come out for, you know, as a presidential candidate, and they had to go back to Obasanjo, and everybody was so surprised, like, wow. So you mean Obasanjo and Atiku can actually settle their long-standing rivalry? You understand? A lot of things like that. Recently, we also saw videos of Tiwa Savage and Shay also talking about a lot of things, and you know, a lot of people were like, why did Tiwa Savage not talk about these things since the lady came to say hi, and you greeted her, and later you were like, okay. In fact, you did something to me a very long time ago and all that. I think within the society, it's just normal for us to, if you look at this show that comes up every year, the BBN, you see a lot of rivalry. In fact, every year that show breeds rivalry. There is no how there will not be a form of competition or rivalry within their housemates.
It's a show, it's a game. I mean.
Okay, let me put it. Probably you say it's a game, but it's just that out within us, we just have this kind of way of sizing people and, you know, trying to compete with them, even if the person is not even aware that you are competing with them, or you're having the person in mind. It's just there. So I think we've looked at some of the causes now, and I think it's just now time for us to just share one or two things about how we can actually resolve rivalries. Please, if you're watching us out there and you have experiences like this, probably you're in a situation where you don't even know what to do. You've never done anything to this person, and the person just seems to hate you for no reason, or you'll be looking at a situation where a family member of yours or something like that, you guys have not spoken for years because of something that someone said or did not say. If you have anything like that, please share with us. We'd like to know your thoughts about long-standing rivalry.
Family rivalry
and about
is even
how,
the worst.
Exactly, I don't like that at all.
It can
about
be
how
messy.
You actually resolve them,
especially with extended families.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
And you see that things just go on and on from generation to generation. I mean, if your parents are at loggerheads with their siblings, definitely it will affect the relationship you have with your cousins, and on. The vicious cycles continue. So it can be messy. I can't even wrap my head around that. But talking about what to do when you find yourself in situations like that, I think it's just best for you to look inward, first of all, and be sure you are not the problem yourself. I mean, we as individuals, we are fallible, and it will take an objective assessment of the situation for you to know that, oh, okay, you have a role to play. You had done something wrong that necessitated the reactions you've gotten from this other person.
Yeah.
So if you can identify the role you play, maybe it will bring you to the point where you want to seek redress. Sometimes it's not about you proving a point that you're right. It is just for the fact that you want peace to reign. And people need to understand that you will not necessarily be in everybody goes book. Like, you don't necessarily have to have everybody
doesn't have to like you or love you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not possible. You won't always have that. But can you just try to live peaceably with all men, as the Bible had admonished? So when you realize that you are not in good terms with someone, what have you done? What step have you taken to seek redress? Have you walked up to the person to, talk things through? If you need to apologize, are you willing to, that just extend that olive branch?
Yeah.
That's where the place of ego comes in. Some person are just like, you know what, even if I'm wrong, I just want to shut the door and slam the door on this person's face. I don't want to ever have anything to do with the person. So yeah, I'm going to walk with my shoulder high and just walk out of the situation. I think it's wrong. As believers, we should just try to, live peaceably with people. You don't necessarily have to be friends with them or very close to them, but try as much as possible to stay out of trouble. When you need to apologize. Even if it's the other person that had wronged you, you can still approach the person. It shows maturity. This thing is all about emotional maturity, really. And for someone like me that I don't even know how to keep grudges, it doesn't mean that I'm emotionally matured as such, but because of my peace of mind, I prioritize that above anything else. So if I wrong you, I acknowledge it and I ask that you forgive me. If you wrong me, I will tell it to you immediately that this is what you just did. I don't like it. Please don't let it happen anymore. Yeah. Like, don't let it happen next time. Because if I don't communicate my feelings, you may not know. Now, what if the person continues doing that? I will try to reduce my interaction. I mean, we can be saying hi from wherever. You just say hi.
In the same space. For instance, like an husband and wife relationship.
You cannot be
something.
In an husband and wife relationship, that is dicey.
There's some people that you can't just avoid. You can't avoid them at all.
That is very
probably like a boss of yours.
Oh my!
At work, your boss is
really you can't really avoid.
Yeah.
But that is where wisdom is required of you. I've read a book where the author talked about the fact that she had an issue with the husband, and she had tried everything she could do. It was not just working. She had to go report the man to God. Like, she had exhausted all her options. She had to pray about that. God, I can't work out on this marriage, but this thing is on LD. You just have to help me. So she reported the case to God, and God intervened, and they are in a better place today. So there are some people that you can't do anything to them. But you have to, in the place of prayer, take the matter to God. That God, you don't like the situation of things. Can you please just mediate? Can you please just speak to this person on my behalf? Holy Spirit can be very helpful in times like this. Yeah. If only you acknowledge that, you know what, God, I can't do this by myself. I need your help. But in places where it's not like you cannot leave the situation, like marriage or maybe workplace rivalry between boss. How can you even be a rival with your boss? Wahala, you don't find job another place, Abby. But yeah, when you have issues like that, I think you should be able to approach the person involved and communicate. Having exhausted all your options, tell it to God in prayer. That's just what it will. That's what
really
advice
very
will be.
Profound for me too. That's in fact very good. Because for me, there are times I shy away from stuff like that.
There are times I cry myself to sleep because I'm hot about a thing. But when I speak to God, I find peace, and I will just let it be. And I find the other person gravitating towards me later on. I just let you deal with yourself. Sometimes we put pressure on people. I expect that I've apologized now. You should come around. Like, we should be friends all over again. The way you deal with things is quite different from the way other people deal with things. So give them room, give them space, and hopefully they will come around you at their own time.
I think willingness, like you said, willingness to actually address the issue and willingness to have difficult conversations with people is very, very important when it comes to solving long-standing rivalry.
Or just generally having healthy relationship with people.
Don't be
in
the
general.
person that would be like, oh, I can't be the first person to go and meet her.
Yeah.
Or I can't be the first person to say hi. I can't be the first person to say good morning. If he or she doesn't greet me, then I will not greet back or something. You know, just being there and waiting for the other person to take the first step. I mean, there will be no resolving anything, because you are like this. The other person too is still waiting for you to come. So who would come? Who will make the first step? So that willingness, no matter what has happened. I know some people will be like, oh, you don't understand where I'm coming from, or you don't know how much pain that this person has done to me. You don't understand how much damage that this person has wreaked to my soul, not even to my body, but to my soul, to my spirit. I've been damaged by this person, and I don't ever want to have anything to do with the person.
Can you ever get to that stage?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that people do. There are a lot of, you know, very dark things that some people have gone through that, in fact, they don't even want to see or hear about the person that did whatever happened to them, did the wrong to them. So for such people that are actually battling with such things, such grievous and dark things, like you can't just see yourself around that person. You can't even think about, even the thought of that person alone, just the thought of that person alone gives you migraine headache. Now talk of trying to think about resolving the issues. I think, like Tolu said, it's really, really important that we take these things to God in prayer. There is nothing that God cannot solve, and there is nothing that I believe that forgiveness cannot solve as well. Because the more you keep this thing in your mind, the more damage it wreaks on you yourself, and not just the person.
The more your prayers remain in that.
Exactly.
You just be always under closed heaven. I think we treated this in church before, when we talk about the fact that, yes, even the Bible said it, that if you have any issue with your neighbor, you better, if you are bringing any offering to God, drop it at the altar and go back for a redress. Sort whatever issue you have with your brother or your neighbor before coming back to God. So there is a way we hinder our own answers, like, or you just tend to operate under closed heaven because of the fact that you've not been able to resolve conflict or issues with people. And I think you are only shooting yourself in the foot if you let it linger long. Try as much as possible to, you know, settle scores with people. Forgive, even if you cannot be close anymore. But have that. It's a difficult one to do. It's a difficult conversation to have. But please have it. That, okay, this is the situation. This is how I expected that you should have handled it, but it turned out differently. These are the lessons I've even picked out from this situation. I hope you've also picked out your lessons. At this point, we may not be cordial anymore, but just know that I have forgiven you and I wish you well in your endeavors. Ma'am.
Exactly. All right. And there are also some kind of rivalries that we cannot settle by ourselves. We need matured minds and unbiased people to help us also mediate. You understand? You can't do it by yourself sometimes. If you see that the situation is very big or somehow tricky, try to get someone that's matured. It might be a pastor
that knows
or a counselor or something, and the person try to ensure that that person, on a word point of view, the person is an unbiased person. So that I mean, it will be easy. But when you try to, you know, do it by yourself. I mean, most times it actually it doesn't even get settled. I mean, when the both of you come, you start recounting those bad things again. You did this, you did that, and there'll be no solution. All right, I think we are bringing today's conversation to a wrap. I hope you've been able to pick one or two things from the very much things that we've said today in resolving long-standing rivalry. So, Tolu, your last word.
All right. Do I have a last word? Not exactly the last word. Okay. But my final word on this will be that you should just try to have honest conversation with people. When you are wronged, state it and be open to forgiveness. Yeah. Because, you know, you are not perfect yourself. When you acknowledge the fact that, oh, this person had wronged me, and he had, you know, apologized, just let it go. And for situations that are just beyond you, like you never want to have anything to do with the person, still explain, like tell the person, okay, you know what, I've released you, but this is where I am at this point. So please just, you know, just honor my request that I don't ever want to have anything to do with you again, like anything cordial, and each of you will just be okay wherever you are. So yeah, just try to live peaceably with all men. That's it for me.
All right, so one last thing I'd like to add is that for third parties that actually fosters this rivalry, please, it is not good. If you are the one pouring, you're the third party, you're the one pouring the fuel, the kerosene and everything into the fire, and is making the situation very worse, please and please stop it. Because in heaven, there is no room for rivalry, there is no room for backbiting, there is no room for all these negative things. And if you know you've said something, you've done something today, please, I want you to take an action step and try to reach out to someone who you've offended or who has offended you. Reach out to someone and ensure that you do not sleep, don't go to bed today without in a way trying to resolve the misunderstanding. All right, so we'll see you some other time. From myself and Tolu and the entire GovTV crew, have a wonderful day. Bye for now.